Okay, so as you know, teachers aren't perfect, and I realized at the end of the day today that I had made a mistake. Um, so this is a simple subject, simple predicates worksheet. Um, this is what you're going to do in station 3. Okay, so as you recall, the subject of the sentence is the noun or the pronoun. The predicate of the sentence is the verb. That's the simple subject and simple predicate. Okay. The complete subject is the noun as well as any adjectives or words that are part of the subject and come before the verb. The complete predicate is the verb plus any other words that you find. So here are the directions. First, students will draw a line between the complete subject and complete predicate in each sentence. Number 2, second, the students will circle the simple subject and simple predicate in each sentence. If you have followed these directions, or at least read these first two directions, put a smiley face in the corner and write, "Hi, Miss Hildreth," if you're listening to this video. Number 3, third, the students will write 3 sentences about a topic of their choice that is appropriate for school. Draw a line between the complete subject and complete predicate. Circle the simple subject and predicate in each sentence. Okay, so I gave you some examples. Now, first period and third period, I don't know, I had a brain fart. I put the correct words in the parentheses. I labeled it wrong. So I'm going to go back through it and I'll touch base with you in class. But if you're watching the video, you will see that the kids, that's not called an infinitive. That's called a prepositional phrase. It's still not actually the subject, but I wanted to make sure you got the right terms. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to read the sentences. So like my example, Miss Hildreth's classes are doing well this year. So you draw a line between where the subject, the complete subject, stops and the complete predicate or the verb starts. So that's where you see my line. Okay, all right, right in here, that red line. Then I look at my subject, Miss Hildreth's classes. Now, I know a lot of you are going to circle either Miss Hildreth's classes, like everything. That's not what I'm looking for. And I know the other thing you're going to do is you're going to want to circle Miss Hildreth's. Miss Hildreth is actually a describing word, and it's telling whose classes we're talking about. So our actual simple subject or the noun is classes. So that's why I have that circle. Okay. Now, if you look, you had a list of linking verbs that I gave you that should be in your writer's notebook. So if you look at that list of linking verbs, you see are. So that's why I circled it. Here's the crazy thing about a linking verb. A linking verb can stand by itself and link the subject with something in the predicate, or as you see here, it can come before an action verb and being used as what we call a helping verb. So that's why I have 2 verbs actually circled in that sentence. Okay, so classes is my simple subject. That's why I circled that. I drew a line between classes and are doing well this year because I divided the complete subject from the complete predicate. And then I circled are and doing because that's my simple predicate. Those are my verbs. Okay. All right. Now, here's the tricky part. This is where I screwed up on the first worksheet. So if you're in first period or third period, please pay attention to this if you're watching the video. Okay, so the sentence reads, some of the kids are not going to the game. All right, now if you look, I drew a line between some of the kids and are not going to the game because kids is where the subject starts, are is where the predicate begins because that's our first verb. Okay, so now there's what we call a prepositional phrase, and it's kind of like an infinitive. Okay, if you remember on your notes, an infinitive has a preposition like to and then an action verb like go. So like to go, that's an infinitive, and go is not actually being used as a verb. It's not acting as a verb in that sentence. Just like in the case of prepositional phrases, you have the preposition of, and then you have a noun that comes after it, like kids, or it can be a pronoun too. So if you read this of the kids, that's not actually, kids is not actually the subject, because if you cover up, I don't know if I can do this, if you cover up of the kids and you read it, some are not going to the game. Some make sense. Not a lot of detail, but it's still the actual subject. So some is my noun or my subject. Okay. Of the kids is just some extra describing words. It's called a prepositional phrase. So that's why I put it in parentheses and I wrote, this is a prepositional phrase. It is not actually the subject. Okay. Now, if you look, then we're going to go, I complicated it. So then you're going to go to the predicate and you're going to look for verbs. So I go to my list of linking verbs. Am is are. I find the verb are and I circle it. Now, I go a little bit farther just to double check because remember, are can be a linking verb, but it can also be used as a helping verb and stand with another action verb or another verb. So I circled are. Not, this is a double negative, but not is not a verb. So I skip it, I double check, and I look at going. Is going an action verb? Yes, it is. So I'm going to circle going, and I'm going to circle are, and I'm going to leave not and the rest of the sentence alone. So my simple subject is some. My simple predicate or my verbs are and going. Okay? And this of the kids is called a prepositional phrase. I apologize for it didn't even dawn on me. I was thinking infinitives and totally forgot. The only different, they both start with a preposition. It's just infinitives have verbs in them. Prepositional phrases have a noun or pronoun. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, or if you do have questions, come see me. So here's what you're going to do for part one. You're going to read the sentence. The plants sprouted quickly after the first rain. So you're going to draw a line in between the complete subject, depending where that is, and the complete predicate. Then you're going to circle your subject and circle your verb. So you'll circle your noun or pronoun, circle your verb. And you're going to do that for 1 through 6. Okay, now read carefully and look at these examples and listen to what I told you because it'll make your life a lot easier. Okay. Some nouns can act as adjectives and can be describing words. So make sure that you have the correct usage for the word. Okay. Make sure it's not being used as an adjective and it's actually being used as a noun. Then you're going to scroll down or you're going to look down on your paper and it says write your own sentences. This is part 2. So you're going to complete direction 3. Third, the students will write 3 sentences about a topic of their choice that is appropriate for school. Draw a line between the complete subject and complete predicate. Circle your simple subject and the predicate in each sentence. So you're doing what you did up here. You're identifying here. Now you're going to apply it and write your own sentences down here. Okay, so if you have any questions, please feel free to come and ask me, email me, and have a great day.